everybody, it's Kelsee Briana J here with an overview and demo using some new products from Fenty Beauty. You guys know Fenty Beauty took the makeup industry by storm when they launched in 2017. They launched so many different products and their main focus was on the complexion products. And not only was it on the complexion products, but it was about deeper shades and more rich shades and just really incorporating people of color into the forefront. So ever since then, other brands have been expanding their color ranges and Fenty has not stopped in launching new products. So they've just launched a slew of new products. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So let's go ahead and jump into it. I'm excited to share with you my thoughts on these products. But first, let's talk about the details. So the newest drop from Fenty Beauty includes new shades in their foundation range. They launched 2 new brushes, one all over powder brush and one concealer brush. They launched 8 new loose setting powders and they launched 50 new concealers, which is an all new formula that is just added to their line. So the brush that they launched is called the Powder Puff Setting Brush. It's the 170 brush. It's a really fluffy all over powder brush. This brush retails for $34. Fenty brushes are made with synthetic brush hairs. It felt very nice, but of course I have a lot of different powder brushes in my collection already, so I went ahead and skipped that one. And they launched the Precision Concealer Brush, or the 180 brush. This brush is meant to be used with the concealer. It's an angle type brush and it's kind of condensed, so it's able to pack on that concealer and blend it out at the same time. They also launched a pack of makeup sponges, which they call the Low Precision Makeup Sponge Duo 105. These names are so funny. But these are beauty sponges. You can use them for whatever cream products or whatever foundation concealer products you wish. But the meat and potatoes of this launch are the setting powder and the concealer. Let's talk about the setting powder first. So here's the packaging that it comes in. This is the standard packaging for Fenty Beauty complexion products. The powder is called the Pro Filt'r Instant Retouch Setting Powder. There are 8 different colors. Each color retails for $32. And I think this packaging looks super luxe. Like, I love this. You all can see my camera. The description says that this is a silky loose powder that works all day to reduce shine and blur the look of pores, fine lines, and imperfections for a hyper smooth filter that won't flash back. 8 versatile shades melt into your unique skin tone, letting you set, perfect, and brighten without caking or settling. So this is a very finely milled powder. I ended up getting the color Banana, and like I said, it was 8 different colors, so they range from lightest to darkest. Fenty Beauty makes it easy if you're confused on which color to get because they group it together. If you use the Fenty Beauty foundation, then they use a numbering system with the powders, and it says if you use between this shade and this shade, then you should get this color powder. I did not follow that system myself just because I found that the powders that they were recommending for the color that I matched to be a little bit too dark for my preferences. And Banana is recommended as a brightening shade for people who wear 200 to 290 in the Fenty Beauty foundation. I have on the color 300 right now. Fenty Beauty has so many different colors that most people can wear 2 or 3 different shades. So you can kind of play with it to see like what you would prefer. But in MAC, I wear NC42 and I found the color Banana to be best for me for underneath my eyes because I don't want anything to match because I don't want to look one tone. Some of the powders just say it's for your shade and some of the powders say that it's for brightening. So just pay attention to that. So I feel like people with deeper complexions are really going to like this powder because I feel like these powders are catered towards deeper complexions. There's not a lot of options for lighter complexions. So if you're very fair, pretty much your only option is the lavender one. And the lavender one does have a tinge of purple to it. You can't really see it on my complexion, but if you're very fair, that may be something that shows up on you. But these powders are very finely milled. So if you're worried about that, they're so finely milled that it'll likely dust away anyways. These powders are very silky to the touch. They're not grainy at all. It's a very soft type powder. When I opened up my powder, a lot of it dusted into the air. That happens a lot with loose powders, but I found that it happened a little bit more just because this powder is so light, it's just floating up. But you get 28 grams of product or 0.98 ounces of product. It takes me a while to go through powders, but you can use this for just regular setting or you can bake with it. The choice is yours. Moving on to the concealer. The concealer packaging. This concealer is called the Pro Filt'r Instant Retouch Concealer. This concealer retails for $26 and it has 8 milliliters or 0.27 fluid ounces of product. So here's what the concealer looks like. It looks like a little bitty baby version of the foundation, which I think that's kind of cute. The concealer does not come with a pump. The concealer does have an applicator. It has a paddle applicator, which I really like these type applicators because I feel like you can apply a good amount of concealer without just gooking it on. So I appreciate that. This concealer has 50 different shade options. This concealer was pretty hard for me to find a match, just like the foundation, just because it was so many different options. I really didn't know which one to go with. I'm like, okay, this one looks good, this one looks good. I ultimately went with the color 330 because I felt like that was closest to my complexion. It's a little bit lighter than my complexion. Ideally, I would have liked to have half a shade lighter, but the shade 320 was too peach, so I skipped that one. And then the shade 310 was a little bit too highlighted for me, so I feel like that one is the best match. The description of this concealer reads, "This is a full coverage cure to living life to the fullest. This sweat resistant formula comes in a groundbreaking range of 50 easy to shop soft matte shades, each designed to pair with your Pro Filt'r foundation, which is sold separately. Your concealer shade is supposed to be aligned with your Pro Filt'r foundation shade, but the concealers are not exactly the same color as the foundations. The concealers are a little bit lighter and some of them have a little bit of a different undertone. So if you're worried about ordering the same color as your foundation and you don't want to just look like one flat shade on your face, you don't really have to worry about that because the concealers are a little bit lighter and a little bit brighter in tone. Pretty much all of the foundations have an accompanying concealer, but there were a few shades of concealer that didn't match up with the foundation. But this concealer feels very nice. It does say that it's a matte concealer. It does dry down just a little bit, but it's not all the way matte. It's almost like a demi matte, but it's not too dry and it's not too hydrating. It's somewhere right there in the middle. They did mention that this concealer is full coverage. I would say that it's medium buildable. So it starts off as medium coverage when you initially apply it. You can build upon that and then you can get a little bit more coverage, but I wouldn't say that it comes straight out of the bottle being full coverage. And I do want to add that both of these products smell like the Pro Filt'r foundation. And you all know I'm real big on smells, so I just wanted to go ahead and throw that out there. I took my time today and I swatched all of these products. So I swatched all of the concealers that they had out. It took me like an hour to swatch all those concealers, and then I swatched all the powders. So I did that for you guys. I hope that this helps anybody who is not able to make it into the store to match your concealer or the powder. Hopefully this helps you. I'm going to go ahead and insert those pictures, and then following that I will show you a demonstration using these new products, and then following that I'm going to wear them around and do check-ins. So I hope that you all enjoy. Let me know your thoughts on these products down in the comments section, and I will talk to you shortly. Let's apply our concealer. I'm going to work side to side. So I'm going to start off with this side. Under the eye on the left side, I'm going to use my sponge. This is an Esom Pro blending sponge. And I am just going to blend this out. This is a sponge that I use all the time, so I'm very familiar with it. This concealer is blending out very well with the sponge. It feels very nice so far. That blended out really easily. I'm gonna go ahead and blend it on my face with the sponge too. So as you all can see, that gave a decent amount of coverage. It really brightened and smoothed out my under eye area on this side. You all can see a big difference between this side and this side. I do still see some of my imperfections, so I'm not going to say that this is full coverage. It's medium coverage, but I do want to try to build on it to see if it'll give me a little bit more coverage. I'm just gonna take a little bit more here. This is like my #1 area right here on the nook. And I'm going to blend this out and see how it builds up. That blended out beautifully. It doesn't look heavy. It doesn't look cakey. You all can see a huge difference now from the side where I don't have the concealer underneath my eyes versus the side where I do. I think it looks a lot more hydrated, a lot more lifted, and it feels still very comfortable. Before I move to the next side, I do want to go ahead and set that. I'm going to set it using my powder. So if you guys watch my channel, then you'll know that I like to set my powder using my sponge. I am going to do that on this side. So I'm taking the sponge directly into the powder. This is the same sponge that I used, and I'm pressing the powder in to set it. This powder is very smooth. As you all can see, it set that concealer very well. It feels very silky. None is coming off on my finger. The concealer is really set with this powder, but the powder didn't dry out my under eye. I still was able to maintain the same amount of coverage, but with the powder, it's a little bit more mattified. So as you all can see, the side with the concealer and the powder, and the side with nada. Now on this side, I want to try this concealer with a brush. Fenty Beauty did release a brush with this launch. I opted not to pick it up even though I was playing with it in the store and I tried on my concealer with it in the store. I was the first person to play with the whole entire line. So I was really able to play with the brush, and that's something that I really don't do while I'm in the store. I will only use products that are brand new because I'm a germaphobe. So I was able to play with it, and it was a nice brush, but I have a brush kind of like it. This is my Marc Jacobs The Conceal brush, and it's the same premise, like an angled concealer brush. So I'm just going to use this to blend out the concealer. The brush was really, really nice. It's not as compact as this Marc Jacobs brush, but the shape of the brush is pretty much the same. So I'm using the brush to blend out the concealer just to see if it'll give me a little bit more coverage. So here's what the concealer looks like blended out with the brush. I don't see too big of a difference. I still feel like I need to go back in right here and add just a little bit more. Okay. And I'm just going to blend this out again with the brush. I'm not the biggest fan of brushes for my under eye just because I have very sensitive eyes and I feel like sponges allow me to be that way. So now I'm going to set it with the same powder, but I'm going to take a brush. This is the Surratt highlighter brush. So I'm just going to dip, make sure I tap, and then I'm going to press this. And I made sure that my under eye was very, very smooth before I did this, because however you set your concealer is how it's going to look. So I wanted to show you all close up what my under eye looks like. You all can see the side that I blended out with the brush, as well as the side that I used with the sponge. So as you all can see, this is what the concealers look like when they're set. So now I'm going to go ahead and finish off the rest of my face, and I'll be right back. So I have all my makeup finished, and I will have all of the details listed down below. But I think everything looks really good all together. My under eye is a little bit creasy. It's not as smooth as it normally is when I initially apply my concealer. But it's very minimal, just something that I noticed and something that I wanted to notate because I'm doing a review on it. But I do want to keep wearing this concealer around for the rest of the day. I will do check-ins every other hour or so. I will set an alarm on my clock to do check-ins and come back and let you guys know how it's wearing. But for now, I think everything looks good. The rest of our makeup is playing really nicely with these two new products. So stay tuned and let's see how this goes. So I'm back with my 2-hour check-in, and as you all can see, I traded out my earrings for earmuffs. Plus my earmuffs are super cute, but I'm extremely cold, like I'm freezing. My concealer and powder still look pretty good. Like I said, when I initially applied it, it's very small creasing, but it's not anything that you can really see from far away. It's not until you get up all close and personal that you can see the small creases. But overall, I think it looks really good. I think it looks very smooth. So I'm going to wear it around for a few more hours, and I will check back in and let you guys see the progress. So you can see I'm way up close. I'll be back. I'm not taking off these earmuffs. I don't care. It's too cold. So I'm coming straight in to do my 4-hour check-in. My under eye is still matte. It still looks the same. As you all can see, like my oils are starting to break through on the rest of my face. So the rest of my face does look a little bit dewier than it did the last time when I checked in. But that under eye is still matte. It still looks the same exact way. My under eye has creased slightly in the 2 hours since I did my initial check-in, but overall I still think it looks pretty good. I think my voice kind of goes in and out from, ooh, are you a little sick, to regular. So I'm gonna have to pull it on back to regular because I'm not getting sick. So I'm gonna zoom in and let you guys see what it looks like now, and then I will check back in 2 more hours. Can you all see that?
Okay, bye.
Let me tell you all what I'm about to do. Number one, I'm going to take this off my face. Number two, I'm going to take down this bun. I'm going to take off these earmuffs and I'm going to put on my pajamas. But before I do that, let's do our last check-in. So everywhere on my face is now dewy / oily. I have on the Fenty Pro Filt'r foundation. That foundation is a little bit drier. You all already know if my face is looking like this, that means video time is over. Let me tell you though, the only thing that's still matte on my face is my under eye. Matte. I think you can see where I set that powder here. I feel like that powder has gathered and is creating an illusion of like a patch here, but I don't think it looks bad. I'm just nitpicking because I'm reviewing. So overall, I'm not dissatisfied with my under eye. I still think it looks really nice. It's definitely concealing how tired I am. Thankfully, I don't look like what I feel like right now because I'm tired. I think the concealer held up well. It still feels very comfortable. The powder definitely set that concealer a lot more than I thought it was going to. Overall, I'm pleased with my under eye. It's not the best that I've ever seen it, but I do think that it looks decent. But you all already know I'm going to continue testing out these products. And since I've already done the video on these products, what does that mean? That means that I'm going to have to go ahead and do another battle of the concealer video, right? Right. Look for that in the next few weeks coming up, and I'm definitely going to include the Fenty concealer in that because I want to test it with a powder that I'm more familiar with, and then I want to test the powder with a concealer that I'm more familiar with. So I will definitely keep you all updated on these products on my channel. Make sure you are subscribed, that way you don't miss those when they drop. But I'm going to go ahead and sign out before I fall asleep. If you haven't already, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And I will check you all in my very next video. Smooches. Bye.